Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 12. I think the final episode for now, unfortunately. I feel like we've been waiting all season for this, for Yuta to show off. Well, we got one, thanks to Yuji. Yeah, this is true. Oh my god. I was gonna say, he's such an empath, and then like a corpse fell on the railing. That was sort of jarring. Interesting juxtaposition there. Yuta in the middle of fighting some of the most powerful people to have ever existed. And he's like, I hope my friends aren't too tired. It's nice that he has the space to think about this. Aside from that, he's also thinking so logically and clearly about the progression of things. Seems like he has a lot of energy to spare somehow. Worrying about his friends gives him strength. Wow. Wow. Yeah, speaking of being empathetic. Really sweet, really noble aim. You don't have to do it all alone, though, like, I mean, if you can, that'd be cool. You probably can. That's so sweet. And also real. Yeah, it would be nice if Gojo didn't have to face that again. The one thing Gojo can overpower, you know, his own feelings. And no opening. There's no time. And he's just helping, like, local people. What isn't he doing right now? Soloing, like, every task at the same time. He won't be bothering us anymore. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll handle this. What the hell is that? How do you fight it? He will. And he will, too. Just right into it. Wow. Oh, they're cockroaches. Oh, no! I hate it. Amazing. Amazing. This is so cool. This is already movie quality. Way to successfully use the rules other players made. It's funny because I just started Invincible Season 4, and there's an enemy sort of in that. That makes me think of the movie Mimic, which is about giant man-eating cockroaches. And then here we have a very similar enemy that is actually cockroaches. And such a great villain design because it's just so immediately detestable. Hello. Episode 59, Sendai Colony. Wow. This thing actually looks really strong. That's not gonna do it though. If I know anything about cockroaches, it's not over until it's over. You think it's dead, it's not dead. It's just resting for a couple seconds. Yes, it lost all of its legs. It just doesn't need them for some reason. They're not like us. I don't know, it's just so great. This is so great, this whole thing. Isn't that the point of the game? Okay. Man, how does he think this clearly while doing all of this? All of this! Okay. That was amazing. What are the limits of this? Whoa. Man, this already, just in the first couple minutes, was worth all of the wait. Not knowing anything about the manga, right? Yuta shows up, and it's like, this will be really cool. He'd be involved. And then he just sort of disappears for a while, despite being featured prominently. But here it is. Amazing. What the hell? Okay, that's not a cockroach. Or was it? Decoys? Oh, his eyes. He took out his eyes. He's going by feel. Oh my god, I hate everything about this. This might be a lure decoy of some sort. We won, but at what cost? I feel like that should have been worth more than 5 points, but okay. Not all 5 points are the same. I got some points for us. Please don't ask me how I got them. Okay, yeah, she was watching. And now they know. He was trying to avoid this. What is that? Was that a... Wait, did I just see a pachinko parlor for a brief second? Yeah, there it is. Pachinko and slot. Don't go in there, Yuta. That's illegal. But if you do, make sure you run faster than the police, because you are guilty. What is happening? What the hell was that? It's confusing. Honestly, if I lived in this world, it would be these powers that scare me. Oh, like a house of mirrors. Okay. Right, it gives her power. Though, like, in a lot of cases, I feel like even the reveal reveals nothing, you know? You revealed some words, but... Oh, I see. You get a second chance to come back. Unfinished business. That's a pretty compelling offer. That's interesting, yeah. We're definitely playing his game. You're stepping into his world completely. Maybe even knowing it's a trap, right? But what an offer. What?
Huh?
What are you, some kind of friendless loser?
なんで自分なんかのために必死になるんですか
Isn't this kind of sad?
藤原の人間かお前らのような血族に何がわかる
Well, I think we traced her trigger or whatever. I think we found it. We are now in the sky, which is her surface. And then also this guy. The cannon, right? They're like insanely powerful. Oh my god, this continues to be amazing. Is that a decoy? That's so cool. How good is he at close range?
お前はごちそうを前にしたガキにゆっくり落ち着いて食べなさいって言うのか
言うんじゃないですか
そうだなこれは割と言うかもな例えが悪かった
Oh no, that was so demotivating.
正直悔いが残るかって言われるとそうでもね
It's tough, man. It's hard. Honestly, as far as temptation stuff goes, the chance at a second life, there are just so many lifetimes you could have. Different occupations, different pursuits, different goals, even different countries. You could think of it in arcs, right? One of the most painful realizations I ever had, which I think was essential, is that while I do think it's generally true within reason that anyone can do anything, it's not true that we can do everything. I think the way people try to handle this problem is by trying to make a link between scarcity and value. Isn't that a thing of there's a butterfly that has a lifespan of 48 hours, and so, each second is more precious? For whatever reason, that never really landed with me in a way that I feel is convincing. I don't think the limitation necessarily makes it better. I think you appreciating it makes it better. So like I'd rather appreciate it for 100 years than 48 hours or whatever, right? What I think is more satisfying as an answer there is that our lifetimes are more than just our lifetimes because we leave lasting and permanent impressions on the world, just in the stream of cause and effect, if nothing else. And so it's really lucky to have that. As imperfect as it's going to be, there's something really nice about like, you live your life. And also you're sort of going to be capped, right? Like it ends up being bigger than you. We're participants in a larger thing that's happening. And so like, that's maybe the point. Multiple iterations, multiple attempts, more time isn't going to change the fundamentals of that structure. This is a weird way to approach this, but I've had this very distinct feeling for certain things where like, I recognize I'm never going to be at the top of something, but it would be so cool just to experience it once, or like have a notch on my belt there. Even if you're not Galileo or some famous astronomer, how cool would it be to discover a new star or constellation that was named after you? You did that. You're on the board somewhere in a really cool way. Or like I rewatched Fight Club because of the references in this season. There's maybe something similar in Tyler Durden's line of how much can you really know about yourself if you've never been in a fight? Maybe you win a local chess championship or something, right? Like you were chess champion there at that time. You did that. You finished a marathon, like whatever it is. There's this random potential kinetic energy that you took and you coalesced into a sequence of actions using your will that manifested into something. And that's forever. Like that's just eternity. You lock that into history. Even if no one knows it, you did that. Now, taking that model in those mundane examples, what would be the most awe-inspiring, most amazing thing we could ever possibly imagine participating in that way? It would be something like the sum of all of those things, right? And the sum of all of those things is life. It's just existence. And we got to participate in existence, which is so freaking cool. And in a certain sense, and maybe in the way that matters most, it's not a comparative scale. It's binary. You existed or you didn't exist. Now, like, there's something that I think instinctually feels unsatisfying about that because it's like, yeah, well, everyone else also exists, so then it's not that special. But maybe that's the wrong comparison. And yeah, for reasons I can't explain, I think it's probably a good idea to try to do one's best in one's existence. I think there's virtue and honor in that. But there's this line somewhere where it tips into vanity. And I think the closer you are to what's pure and good and virtuous and truthful and high-reaching, the less you worry about the time frame, if that makes sense. And the more you just worry about the goodness, the actual doing of the things.
このタバコ吸った後少し甘いんだ
I never really smoked for the taste.
デザートがなかった
What does that mean? Were you expecting a cookie? Great job living your life. Here's a cookie for you.
何が不満かって
Yes, why? You're just thankful this guy's some sort of insect he has to kiss. Isn't that a circular loop? I am unsatisfied because I am unsatisfied. I guess his close combat actually pretty good. That was really cool. Sort of like Cyclops, but like with his hair. Pompadour Cyclops. Nice move. Wow. It looked like it hurt. Wow, amazing. It looks really cool. It's really, really pretty, his powers. There's no gravity for Yuta. Everything according to plan. So far, so good. He's backing up into the train tunnel. This feels like an obvious trap. Right, there it is. Yeah. Just like the hallway trap with Reggie. Wow. The speed, though. How is he dodging? How does he? There's no way, right? That was not a dodge. There's some limitation. And then Yuta hit him with a train. And it did 1 HP. If you plug it, he's just punching the laser cannon. You go away. Surface, yeah, you mentioned that. It doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, that looks terrible, though. Ouch. She looks like the kind of person also that would just never be satisfied. Something about her just looks unhappy. Also, clearly no impulse control. Like, she could have just waited for one of them to die. Maybe she needed attention, being the friendless loser that she is. Don't you have any friends? He seems to fall into that category of villains I've never really understood, where their biggest ambition in life is to find someone who can murder them, like in One Punch Man. There's a metaphor there, I guess, because there's no winning that game ever. You want to beat someone stronger than you, but if you can beat them, they're not stronger than you. It's the parallel for that idea of, I would never want to join a club that would allow me as a member. And then they die, and as they're dying, they're like, my only regret was that I died. And it's like, no sh**, what did you think was gonna happen? Oh, what an empath. He's still thinking about everyone else and the normal civilians. Or not? Yeah, also I have this. Like Evangelion. Thanks, Tengen. Wow. He's so versatile, too. Then we got some abstract art for that attack. Wow. This is so cool, man. I can't believe it. I'm just in awe. Why does she feel so irrelevant? Yeah, some people definitely had it easier than others, huh? In this arc. Alright, this is the kind of fight you have to watch 5 times, at least. Oh my god. Okay, it's kind of cool. It looks really cool. Both their powers are really visually pleasing. Also, his poses. Also, she's probably really hard to hit. It's like trying to catch a fish in water, you know? Like, it's not where you think it is. It doesn't look all that powerful, but it's just weird, and she's so comfortable with it. And then I hit him with the sky. I don't really understand it still, though. She turns the sky into a surface, and then you can get caught on the surface, and then the surface can break or rupture. Wait, what? The Sun, Moon, and Star Squad was the Fujiwara clan's personal squad of assassins. Yet that man once granted me a name so he could execute me. Did anyone read this without pausing? I don't know what happened to you, but I'm sorry. I took it. He just died off screen, too. Yeah, who hurt you? I like how wholesome this is. Okay, that's interesting criticism. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her either. I don't understand even with that text. Seems like she was betrayed and used as a pawn in something. And then like from there, maybe it's that thing of no one can be trusted. It's all about me and my own pleasure or gratification or success or whatever. And yeah, I think that is a lonely place to be. And like, there's not that much you can really win. What are you going to get that you're really going to appreciate that much alone? Alone and like without any sort of actual grounding to something good. But I understand her criticism. It's extremely frustrating when somebody who is living in an abundance of the things the lack of are causing extreme pain for you tells you that those things don't matter. Like rich people will tell you money won't buy your happiness when you're poor. You know, it's like, I'm not trying to hear that right now. I think there's actually something important and beautiful about rejecting that, because that then maybe is the key to your destiny, right? There's something that you have to follow. There's an arc there, the conclusion of which would probably be that realization that there is more to this life. You know, there's more than this. After the adventure, you return home and know it for the first time, etc. But it's also right. You know, so just leaving some space for that, probably not a terrible idea. And there's also a trap in being right. You know, like someone hurts you or there's some disappointment in life and you accurately identify, wow, this isn't what I thought it would be. You're right, that's an important lesson, but then, you know, we overcorrect. Everyone can just burn in hell for all I care. I'm gonna do me and run my life into the ground in my own way. It's really great. You know, you have this reaction, you have this realization. It's a rung, you know, you've learned something. You had a blind spot that got uncovered, but don't close every door. You know, as he said, you've now just put yourself in a box. Part of it, maybe like Hiruma actually, is kind of using it as a shield to deflect against the pain of dashed hopes, you know, for having to do the difficult work of fighting the fight, opening up and trying. And it's way easier to lean on some sliver of truth that things are difficult, that there are actual physical material difficulties, to then make the case that it's impossible, because that gets us off the hook. But I feel like that distinction is important. What is this? The chest beating. What does that do? At least he's having a great time. All three at once? How does that work? What happens there? A little bit clingy. You again? See, I told you, they never die. Yep, just like a cockroach. And then what happened? So where are we now? I remember my first cockroach. Oh my god, okay, don't eat that. I think maybe he's just hungry. Like, someone get this man some food. You're not you when you're hungry. I don't know if this is relevant in any way, but he's got the same shoulder injury as Megumi. It might even be the same pose. I say that after having just made the thumbnail for the last episode. Yeah, here are the food metaphors. He just matched his pose even without... Oh, he does have it. Okay. Slightly. Your best thing is my side thing, and I'm only slightly inferior to you in it. Let's let it all out. For dessert. Yeah, he's quite the empath. This is romantic. And we got the classic pink blue beam to the intro song. He's a sweet boy. So we're trying to make him happy by giving him the fight of his life. It's just desserts. This is charity at this point. Oh, he pulled the air thing that he just got, immediately using it. That's amazing. So did he just do black flash? Back flash? The thing Toto taught Yuji. That's what that was, right? Man, she's so clingy. Surely you're satisfied now, right? If this is what you really wanted. Yeah, here it is. Here's the dessert. You're welcome. Weird that this is such a happy event. It's funny because I was just saying, like, this never works, but, like, he seems to actually be getting what he wanted. That's enough charity for today. Got stuff to do. You're tasting your own juice again, or whatever it was that you said. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this experience. Something very poetic about that. So in a weird way, you defeated yourself. You were the strong one that you were looking for. You got a taste of your own power. Weirdly narcissistic. Happy for you. Again, you're welcome. Yuta stealing Yuji's dream of giving people good deaths. Or not. Yeah, he's very empathetic. I like that perspective, yeah. I saved them all, except for the cockroach, I hope. Yeah, there's a huge limit to what you can do. It's scary, like, because you know people might not ever come out of it, but it's all on them. Like, it's not a choice you can make for other people. Easy for you to say. You're so perfect and powerful. And kind. I mean, I feel like at this point you gotta just give it, right? I don't think so. That's sweet. We're just racking it up. Damn. It's rich. Point rich. You calling Yuta a calamity? Wow. Wait. I want to see the Yuji talk about team up. You told me I have to wait. They're gonna get along so well. I already know that. They were meant for each other. I feel like Yuji will like his jokes because Yuji has great taste, like me. What was that final warning? I was ominous. Just taking a stab at it. I think all of us in some way, inevitably, because of how we're brought into the world knowing nothing and, you know, kind of have to lean on the rules and mores of society, we don't actually have our own personally formed convictions about the way things should be, what we should do, how we should behave. We can't. It's just too much. So we need those placeholders. And there are just natural limiters in place. Like, you just can't survive as an infant and child without the approval of the people in your environment. So then if for whatever reason you find yourself in a situation of overwhelming leverage and power, well then it's dangerous in exactly the ways you haven't formed those specific personal convictions to things. If there's no imposed guideline, what's the guideline? And you know, it's a really easy one. Might makes right. Power. And delusions of importance. Wow, so that's the end of season 3, part 1, I guess. Even going into this with anticipation, it definitely exceeded my expectations. There are just so many great things about these 12 episodes. I think one of the things that stands out the most is just the overall direction. It just feels different and it feels impactful and well thought out and creative. Like it feels alive. It's breathing. Obviously, a lot of that is leaning on the writing, right? Like, for example, Higuruma, a really great character, right? And his dilemma really cool as it applies both to not just thematic questions, but also real life and societal issues. There's just so much happening there. So that was always going to be a great one. But then, you know, like the Reggie fight. Reggie as a character, as it came through in the show, just felt like one of those things that was way better than it had any right to be, if you know what I mean. If anything, my only real complaint, besides the book episode with Tengen, which, you know, we'll give a pass to because of what followed, and also because, you know, it's just part of the show's charm at this point. What would Jujutsu Kaisen be without the instruction manual episode or cricket lore? But I digress. Is the fact that, like, I would have enjoyed more time with just about any one of these characters. Like, speaking of Fight Club, Hikari. That one little micro scene with him and Yuji talking in the office was so well done. There's so much that can be done with his philosophy. I feel like he alone could be just an endlessly interesting character. But, like, aside from that one scene and a short fight, that was really it. I mean, I know it'll come back around, but I have that feeling I sometimes get with really great stuff where it's a testament to how good it is that it feels insufficient, if you know what I mean, right? Like, wanting more is always a good thing. These episodes just breakneck pace with so many points of what felt like really great intrigue and quality along the way. Each thing kind of stands on its own in a really cool and intriguing way. We didn't see all that much of the game, I would say, but what we did see was great. The premise is always good, but it delivered on that in ways that were really exciting, all while not losing sight of the main characters and their main quests. Like, I really like Yuji's cog thing. That's so perfect for the moment given what's happened. Him picking himself back up again and living with the burden of what's happened in the story so far, but constantly adapting his worldview. Megumi being simultaneously great contrast and a great friend. They make a great pair. I love their infiltration episode. And then, I mean, I know the show in the past has had some controversy around production, but man, I mean, just this episode alone was what you might expect in 3 episodes. I mean, it was a little bit longer time-wise, but it's sort of stunning. And it's not just this episode, right? It's not like they just saved it all for one fight. There were several throughout that, you know, just really fun. And with that sort of thematic resonance and intrigue behind it, it's just very exciting stuff. Can't wait to see where the rest of this arc goes. There's just so much to work with. Thank you to everybody for watching, as always, for all the great comments and insight and fun facts, etc. It really helps me appreciate the show that much more, especially a show this rich in details. Thank you to my patrons for making this possible. Overdue shout out to those who joined the top tier on Patreon. Brock Thier and Rusp. Thank you to you. Thank you to patrons. Thank you to everybody for watching. See you for the next half season of Jujutsu Kaisen, or for something else in the meantime.